And gentlemen, welcome back to another video. It is your host, Yavis Chess Guy, and we got another video for you. So PlayStation 5, PlayStation, it just came out with a brand new controller. Now it's just not a custom controller like a Spider-Man, like what I would hope for. I see they have a LeBron James controller set to come out soon. They have a Final Fantasy 16 controller set to come out soon. I definitely need a new controller because my original white controller, my white and black controller, the battery's shorting where I don't know what's going on. It's just not holding a charge. But it's a perfect excuse to get a new one. However, this is not a controller for me. This is an Access controller. That's the name of it, PlayStation 5 Access controller. And this is an official video pretty much talking about what that is. I think it's a controller for accessibility, I guess people with disabilities and stuff like that, so they can get in and on the fun to play video games. So let's just dive on in and see what this is all about.
Logo, title, PlayStation Accessibility, Accessibility Lead, Mark Friend.
At PlayStation, we think there is an incredible opportunity to make our platform, games, and peripherals more accessible, so that even more people can enjoy the magic of gaming. We're just getting started with our accessibility journey with PS5, but we're so excited about what we've been able to do.
This is honestly game-changing because I feel like to get more people to want to play and enjoy video games, but also business-wise, to get more people to actually buy and play video games that traditionally couldn't with the regular controller. Now they have something that they can use to enjoy and have fun. I'm just kind of curious to see
Our plans for the future.
Buttons slide along geometrically shaped grooves. Title, Controller Accessibility. Product Manager Kazuhiro Yanase. Subtitles.
For game consoles, the controller is one of the extremely important interfaces that connect the player to the world created by the game's creators. Therefore, we believe that the controller itself being accessible is the most important factor in immersing players in the game world.
A controller with raised buttons connected to a joystick. Senior Technical Program Manager Alvin Daniel.
Many of us have a personal story of either knowing someone with a disability or a family member with a disability and wanting them to be able to participate with the PS5. And so it was really us coming together to ask ourselves, what can we do based on all the input we received from the community to be able to craft something that really opened the doors. We've partnered with a lot of outside expert consultants in this area, charitable organizations that help and advocate for gamers with disabilities, really helped us understand what challenges we needed to solve in order to provide a more accessible controller that was more customizable and more performative for gamers with disabilities.
The circular controller and its parts. Kazuhiro.
One of the main characteristics of this controller is that it can be used simultaneously with other controllers.
Interesting.
He smiles. Views of the two types of controllers.
Specifically, up to 2 of these controllers can be connected to a single DualSense wireless controller at the same time. This feature allows players to freely make choices about the controller according to their own condition and provides a very high degree of customization.
Alvin.
We want to be inclusive. We want everyone to be able to join this party, no matter who you are.
Title, Game Accessibility. Senior Gameplay Producer Santa Monica Studio Kate Marlin.
Some of the most inspiring things that I've seen that have made me want to think more about accessibility is seeing the stories that players have and how much it means to them when they're able to sit down with the game for the first time and play more than they ever thought they could.
Game Director Naughty Dog Matthew
That's a
Gallant.
good game right there.
To some extent, the principles behind accessibility are good universal design principles.
Scene from The Last of Us Part 1 with captioning.
So thankfully, we're able to think about, okay, well, if this information is only available on screen, well, then it's not accessible to a blind player. Or if this information is something you only hear,
Example.
Joel, the guy up on that second
it's
floor.
not accessible to a deaf player.
Lead game designer Amelia Schatz.
I think as developers, we started with developing accessibility features because we realized that certain members of our audience had special needs and certain things would really block them.
I'm excited for players to try various features that we've created.
Accessibly designed researcher Insomniac Games Sam Chappell.
From eye contrast mode, traversal assist, auto pickup, to navigation assist.
Michelle Zarilla.
It really depends on you and what you need. And that could be just a preference,
Maybe you have a temporary disability. Maybe you have a permanent disability. Maybe you can't see or you can't hear.
Scenes of Sam and
Wow.
Michelle testing game features and shortcuts. Senior designer Jason Bolt.
I'm a game designer first and foremost, who's also legally blind. I try and make every game I make as accessible as possible.
All sorts of people in the past wanted to play our games, they just couldn't. They just had some limitation that didn't allow them to play our games.
Right.
Naughty Dog co-president Neil Truckman.
So it's really exciting that people that have all sorts of limitations can now jump into part one and again seamlessly transition to part two because they share those same award-winning accessibility features.
Accessibility features on screen for The Last of Us Part 1. Title PS5 Console Accessibility Level 2. Product Manager Satish Upuluri.
Accessibility is important to PlayStation to achieve our mission, which is to connect people through the power of play, where players of all abilities can share the moments of joy.
A scene from The Last of Us Part 1 with audio description.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander.
Brian
to Joel.
Parsons.
People
This is very
who
interesting.
have disabilities, they're constrained by society in the way that we have designed this world. So having products that allow them to experience the world, having accessibility built into our DNA, that's what is so important to me.
The accessibility screen and settings. Satish.
For PlayStation 5, we built a brand new voice platform which powers accessibility features like screen reader, chat transcription, voice command, and voice dictation. All these features make PlayStation 5 more accessible.
Accessibility display, sound and screen reader settings.
After the launch of PlayStation 5, we introduced new functionality like Zoom, mono audio support, adding more language support for screen reader, and improving the screen reader experience by introducing functionalities like play, pause, and repeat. PlayStation 5 offers a wide range of accessibility features.
Example of high contrast mode in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
We're taking care of that architectural layer of accessibility
contrast
so the
mode.
games can focus on building even cooler experiences.
A user tests God of War Ragnarok. Ryan.
The biggest thing about the accessibility features on the PS5 for me, and the thing that I want to make happen, is bringing people back into gaming. We are making this so you can have the same experience and enjoy it like everybody else and be a part of
Yeah,
that
this is a pretty
excitement.
cool thing that
A
they're
scene
adding.
from The Last of Us Part 2 utilizing accessibility features. Mark.
Auto pickup.
There's still
nice.
so much for us to discover and do, but we know that by listening to the accessibility community, we can learn how to make PS5 and PlayStation as a whole easier to jump into than ever before for anyone who wants to play.
Words appear. SIE would like to say an additional thank you to the Able Gamers Charity, Special Effect, StackUp, Danger Systems, and more. For more information, please visit playstation.com/accessibility. Words appear. Play has no limits. The PlayStation logo.
That was pretty cool. So what do you guys think about that? For me, I think that this is pretty good. Of course, it's great to bring gamers, specifically that's unable to play video games, and even with this controller is very interesting. Even I'm curious to see how would people use this to play video games, like, you know, locking on or a shooting game. You just press it with your hand. It's very interesting. I'm curious to see what else are they gonna bring, you know, like what other information is gonna come out. To I would like to see someone use this that has different disabilities. That would be the next step. If they can create a video showing how people with disabilities can use this would be very interesting, and seeing how they play and how well it works. And hell, if you can use this for people that's not disabled, you know, and they just kind of enjoy the way how this thing is, I think it's pretty cool. So what's your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, support the channel, and thank you so much for watching. This is pretty cool. Kudos to Sony and PlayStation for really trying to innovate things with the PS5, you know. So until next time, peace out.